Hi, welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. And I'd like to introduce to you Rosie Pepe Parks. Now, she's coming with something new. She is a creator of a new program called Pepe. Rosie, like to have you. Welcome to the Ed Brown Show. And it's great about your venture and what you plan to do to give the station another show called Pepe. Now, this is the first time, so you better look around here because you want to see. This is a terrific show that Rosie had. Tell us, how did you get involved in producing and creative producing? And what does creative mean?
Creative. Well, I'm a creative person by heart. That started when I was very young. I used to host shows like in my neighborhood back in Jamaica where I lived.
Oh, so you're originally from Jamaica?
Yes, I'm a Jamaican. I actually came to the States in 2003, not that long ago. So I've spent the bulk of my life in Jamaica. And while I was there, apart from doing those shows when I was, I think from 10 until my earlier teenage years, I was involved in a lot of different productions, more event type stuff. And so it's something that was always there. I just decided to do it starting 2011 on New Year's Day, but I've been thinking about it actively.
Is that right?
Yes.
That's fantastic. Just what is your background? Just what are you doing now?
Well, my background is, like any Jamaicans, we have a lot of jobs. I actually have a lot of interests, but I have a background. I have an undergraduate in business and professional management and a master's in management with a concentration in public relations.
Excellent.
So in my day job, I'm director of communications for a nonprofit organization in Washington, D.C. And in my own personal life, my passion project is Pepe Entertainment and Promotions. Yeah.
Okay. Now, give us some ideas of some of the things that you're going to bring on your show. When you say creative, you're going to deal with. Just give us a outlook.
Well, my show is really about the personalities that I interview. Just like your show, you interview interesting personalities.
Right, positive.
Positive.
Right.
And for my show, each personality has to be doing something that's community service. So it's not just about highlighting someone who has a personal business. Their personal life should speak to some of the things that they're doing to edify the community. And so the show is really conversations with ordinary people, I like to call it, who are doing extraordinary things. And I've actually shot the entire first season already. We have 13 episodes. I call them
Is that right? Well, tell us about them.
Well, they're with a number of different personalities. Some are Jamaican, some are Caribbean people, some are Americans.
So basically, you're going to bring a lot of information concerning the culture involved with the Jamaicans, right?
Well, the culture with the Jamaicans, when you're talking to the Jamaicans, as well as the culture, because one person who I interviewed, Miss Joanne Richard, she runs a nonprofit that helps children in Haiti.
Right.
So that will give people a little bit more information on how they can go about helping children in Haiti and starting a nonprofit. I have interviews with a few Jamaicans. They have different backgrounds, different skill sets. Miss Raquel Brown Gaston, she is a lawyer, but she is also an author. So it's an interesting.
She writes books, huh?
She actually wrote her first book, and she's trying to get into that whole acting realm. And then I have also Dr. Claire Nelson, who is a Jamaican, and she is the first Jamaican woman to receive a doctorate degree in engineering.
Excellent.
Yeah, so it's a lot of interesting personalities, and as I mentioned, all of them are doing something that qualifies as community service. So the show is really about me having a pep talk with them and exposing them to
the culture.
And people can see what's going on in their lives and what they're doing in the communities.
Well, why don't you give us a little background as far as Jamaica is concerned? Because many times people get an idea from the newspaper or something like that, and just they make people realize the culture and achievement that the Jamaican brings to the United States.
Well, I mean, I think most people know the worth of Jamaicans in the United States and black people in general, but Jamaica is an island that I would tell people don't judge it until you've been there for yourself.
Oh.
And I'm not being
Yeah.
biased because I'm
Right.
from Jamaica, because
Right.
I travel to a lot of places. But, you know, growing up in Jamaica, of course, for me, it's the most beautiful experience
Right.
ever.
Well, tell us about the culture. Most people, like I say, it's a brochure or something like that they read about it. So say, well, I'm going to Jamaica, and generally that includes, you know, the beaches and things like that. But the culture itself, what are some of the outstanding cultures there as far as art and entertainment and things of that nature? I know the bongo drums. That's one of the musical instrument that, you know, they're famous for.
Yeah, Jamaica is rich culturally. I mean, we have
Right.
the whole history of the Maroons. And if people don't know about the Accompong Maroons, they're kind of like in their own territory, and they do their own stuff. They have their own cultural norms. And even some of the persons in Jamaica, we're not a part of that particular culture because they practice their own stuff. Of course, the Rastafarian culture is very much alive in Jamaica. The reggae culture is big. Everyone knows about Jamaican reggae through Bob
Yes,
Marley.
certainly.
You know, we have a lot of stuff that we do in terms of cultural dances. We
Yes.
talk about the food, the spices. Of course, everyone knows about our beautiful beaches.
Yes,
But we
right.
are a vibrant people. We are very ambitious. We are also very hospitable. You know, if you come to the island, there's a Jamaica tourist board ad that says, "Come to Jamaica and feel all right." And our thing is like, no problem, man. I mean, I know the media portrays Jamaica to be, you know, whatever they portray it to be. And I'm not even feeding into that. And like any place, of course it has crime. Of course there's stuff going on in any community that you should be aware of. But they always show that side of Jamaica where it's not the typical tourist destination.
Right.
So a tourist person is not going to go into West Kingston, Jamaica to spend their time. They're going to go to the tourist towns. They're going to go to Devon House. They're going to go to Bob Marley Museum. They're going to go to Treasure Beach. They're going to go to James Bond Beach, Duns River Falls,
Right.
Ocho Rios, Negril. They're going to go to all these places where they're going to see the rich culture, the art, and the people.
Okay, well, what about some of the foods? Give us, you know, a lot of people enjoy the Jamaican culture and the foods.
And the foods.
Quite a few people are in business, you know, with Jamaica foods. Tell us about that and how it's done, you know.
Well, Jamaican food, I mean, everybody, when they think about Jamaican food, they think about jerk. That's kind of one of the biggest things that they think
Right.
about. Jerk this, jerk that. And jerk is very popular on the island. Jamaicans,
So
you know.
now, what is jerk? See, some people don't know that.
Well, you know, jerk is a way of cooking where I mean, in Jamaica, sometimes the traditional jerk that I'm accustomed to is they use like a steel pan, like a drum pan.
Right.
You know, in the States where they're cooking jerk chicken and selling you in the restaurant, that's not the traditional way I grew up with them
Right.
doing jerk.
Right.
They have like a drum that's cut in half, and they have a little grill, and they jerk it with the spices and the season, and it's smoked, and
So
it's covered.
jerking don't mean physical. Jerking means spicy.
Spicy and smoky.
And
And
smoky.
it's a method of cooking in Jamaica.
Oh, it's a method of cooking, right?
Yes.
Because some people think when you say jerking and things of that nature, they think of maybe a pork or you know, those type of basically pig, you know.
Well, you know, you can jerk anything in Jamaica. One of the big things that
So
they
so the
have.
jerking is not related to the food itself.
Well,
it's the system.
Well, it's
That
a
you use
way.
to cook.
It's a way that we used to cook. Yeah, just like you would have, okay, say curried. You know, like curried or brown stew, and those are typical Jamaican terms. Jerk is a method of cooking, and you're right. We
Right.
jerk in Jamaica. We jerk everything. We jerk
Right.
chicken. We jerk pork. We jerk shrimp. We jerk fish. We
No,
jerk
everything.
any and
Right,
everything
right,
because
right.
it's a way of cooking for us.
It's the method of cooking.
Yes.
And generally does it now. People I associate with sometimes they think when you say jerk too is hot,
Spicy.
spicy. Well, I say hot.
It
the
is
word
spicy.
is the word is spicy. Though.
The word is spicy. And, you know, our palates in Jamaica, and I think in the African diaspora, is made for a spicier flavor. So jerk is a spicy food in Jamaica. We love spices, and
So
we
you
like
spice everything.
Yeah, we tend to spice everything a lot. You know, most of us can do jerk. You know, so it gets a little spicy for more Americans because that's not something that they're really accustomed to. But a lot of them like it because they've been eating jerk because they love the island food. So
What are the natural flowers and things of that nature associated with Jamaica?
we have bougainvillea. We have lots of tropical flowers in Jamaica.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, hibiscus. I can't remember geraniums. I mean, I can't remember all of them. We have a lot of gardens, but we have a lot of lush, natural foliage, plants, and flowers all over the island.
Oh, everywhere.
Everywhere,
Right.
everywhere.
Well, and what about the youngsters? How do they get involved with the culture? Is that taught to them, or just how do you do that?
Well, you know, when I was growing up, we were very exposed to the culture. For example, we have a celebration that's called our Festival or
Right, that's
Independence
what I want to
Celebration
hear, right.
every year. And when I was
Some
growing
of
up, in my time, it's something that we did in school, and then we would have auditions for persons to perform at this big festival that we had, and we would do all the traditional Jamaican folklore dances, everything that is Jamaican. The youngsters would be exposed to it. I mean, I think they're still doing it. I'm sure they're still doing it. Not sure if it's as rich as when I was growing up, and even richer when my folks were growing up. Because, you know, the youngsters know they're interested in other stuff that sometimes is not necessarily as cultural as it used to be when we were growing up. But they still do it. You have Edna Manley Visual Arts Center. They're still doing poetry. I know they still do a lot of celebrations when it comes to those times of the year. Heroes Day, they're still exposed. They're taught about the national heroes of Jamaica.
Yes,
you know they know about the history.
The history. Now, give us some of the history of Jamaica, as far as the Jamaica is concerned.
Okay, well, Jamaica got our independence in 1962, so I guess that would make us 49 years. This year we have 7 national heroes, one of whom is a female, Nanny of the Maroons. The most popular one that people can identify with and know about is Marcus Garvey.
Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, everyone
right.
knows about Marcus Garvey, one of the most powerful orators of our time. And we know about the history and how he was imprisoned by the U.S. So many people can identify with Jamaica. The whole slavery rebellion, Nanny of the Maroons was instrumental in doing stuff like that. We have Sam Sharp, who is responsible for a lot of stuff, including the Sam Sharp Square that's in Montego Bay, which is another tourist town of Jamaica. George William Gordon.
Montego Bay. They made a song with Montego Bay involved in it.
Many songs with Montego Bay. Many songs are made about Jamaica. And Montego Bay is one of those areas in Jamaica that's a tourist destination. So a lot of people who travel to Jamaica, they don't go to Kingston necessarily. They'll go to Montego Bay.
What's the capital?
The capital of Jamaica?
Right.
Kingston.
Kingston. But usually, if you really want to see the culture, it's better to go to Rio.
Well, it depends what side of the culture you want to say, because Kingston does have a lot of history. You know, I mean,
but it's not as popular.
It's not as popular, and again, that ties us back to what you mentioned when you said, you know, when the media portray Jamaica.
Yeah, sure.
Typically, what they're showing is what's going on in Kingston, which is West Kingston. But Kingston is also called, well, Kingston is also Kingston and St. Andrew. That's how we call it. So when I say Kingston, like I say I'm from Kingston, sometimes I mean St. Andrew. Because in Jamaica we use Kingston and St. Andrew interchangeably.
Is that right?
Yes.
I thought they were separate myself.
They are separate because they're different parts, and everything is broken out into Kingston this and Kingston that. But when you ask a Jamaican where in Jamaica you're from, they're not going to say I'm from St. Andrew. They're going to say Kingston, and then you're going to say we're in Kingston, and they're going to say, oh, up in the hills, Upper St. Andrew. So when the media shows you Kingston, they're showing you most likely those garrison communities, the volatile areas that a tourist and even a person like myself, we don't typically go into those areas.